What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 10K on the Bay. This is the Sunday. It's Sunday today. Sunday evening call up with the Reseller Fam. I'm pretty excited. If you guys want to join, please go to Instagram and follow one of us and get the link. But the Zoom ID is 866-717-620. We'll put it in the chat so you guys can follow. Tonight, we're going to be talking about listing practices and how to get more efficient and just sort of like expose where our issues are. And it's not going to be that specific tonight. We're also going to give away a ticket to the reseller event in Kansas City. So super excited about giving away a ticket. So if you guys joined our listing challenge, you'll be eligible to win a free ticket. And we only had 8 people actually complete their goal this week. So it should be pretty exciting because you have a 1 in 8 chance of winning a $350 ticket. Pretty cool. So I will start with we'll do a couple of listing practices and then we'll get into the goal document that we use to track our progress every week. So I'll talk about a weakness that I have. So what I'm doing right now is I thrift for the week and find all my inventory. I drop it off all at the cleaner on Sunday. They clean all my items. I get it back, and then I come home and I move the items into a specific area for prep, and then I enter it in the computer. And at that point, I have like 10 different ways of taking pictures, and that is horrible. And I really need to fix that. So my biggest issue right now is trying to streamline my photo process. The lighting is always different. I'm using different cameras. I'm using different lighting systems. I just not uniform at all. I really need to stop doing that. And it seems like the rest of my process is pretty clean. So after it's photographed, it's packaged by my photographer, and then it's filed back into the warehouse, which is my garage. That's the whole process. And then when I ship, I record all my expenses in. So now, because of this new spreadsheet, I sort of know my profit every single day, which is nice. So I'm not really in the dark, and it's manageable right now because I'm only selling about 20 items a day. But when it starts getting higher, I'm going to have to probably use some software or something. But that's me. Joel, do you want to go into how you do things?
Yeah, sure. Do you do the draft before the photo or after the photo?
After the photos now. I used to do it. If I'm listing, I draft first. If I'm having staff do it, they photograph first.
Okay. Um, I I've been all over the place as long as I've been doing this, trying to figure out what I like the best. And I feel like I know what I like the least, and it's photographing. I hate, loathe, despise, and abominate taking photos of my inventory. I hate it. I finally hired a photographer, but I'm a lot quicker than she is right now, which is fine. It's a growing process. So now what I finally have gotten in the groove this week of doing, and it seemed to work pretty good, is I will go source, and then come home, put everything in a pile, and just start drafting immediately, because I find that's when I'm the most excited about what I've bought, is right when I get home. So, and I want to know how much it's all worth and what it's selling for. So if I sit down right when I get home with my stuff and start the draft, instead of just looking it up to see how much it costs and then, waiting to take my photos, if I do that first, and while I'm looking up what they're worth, just go ahead and start the draft and do the draft, save it. If I do that for everything that I've bought, I go through it pretty quickly because I'm so excited about my purchases for the day. And then I will prep them, and then I'll take the photos, and then in that way, because I have so much running around to do with all the kids and the husband and all of the whatnots, I'll have a bunch of photos in my phone, and wherever I am, if it's a soccer game or the grocery store, I can just add photos to my drafts and make them live wherever I can.
I think that's a really good process, especially for a busy mom. If you have drafts ready, you can upload the photos when you have time and
Yeah. And
throw it
if
in there.
I also am not like, I'll procrastinate on the prepping. So if I wait to do any drafts or photos till after I'm prepped, I might put it off. So I find that I'm procrastinating less and less and less if I just go ahead and do the draft right away. And then it makes me want to do the other stuff too.
You know what one of my best tips ever is? Never sit down.
I,
Just stand the whole
have
day.
you met me? I don't sit down. I haven't sat down since 1994. when I was 10.
Amazing. Okay. So what do you think is what's your challenge that you're working on the most? And everyone in the chat, please put your suggestions to help us out, because the whole point of this is the mastermind and to give people ideas. So of your process, what's the weakest part? Is it photos?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I hate it.
Me too.
But I will say this. I got that box kit that I posted it on my Instagram. It's really huge. I'd hold it up and show you. For all my hard goods and shoes and whatever will fit in it, it's quite a large box. So a lot of stuff fits in it except for like dresses and blazers and jeans, clothing. And I'm doing so much hard goods and shoes right now for Q4 that I'm knocking those photos out because it's so easy. The lighting's great. I don't have to mess with the shadows. And then I also got new box lights because my photographer has my other light kit. And I was finding that I was needing more pictures and photos to list of my stuff. So I just got some box lights and I love those too. So I've got that set up down in the basement for anything that I need to hang on. Oh, the other thing that I found out that that I hate is the dress form and the mannequin. I hate it. And that's, I think, a big reason why I wasn't doing a lot of my clothing items. So I'm hanging them on a hanger, and I put a thumbtack in my wall on my backdrop, and then I hang them on a hanger and take photos that way. And I don't hate it as much anymore. I hated dressing Claire. She was not cooperative. But even on the hanger, it's not bad. Like stuff it's fine. Like something that really needs to be shown a form, maybe I might bring Claire back out, but the hanging on a hanger instead of putting all my stuff on Claire has helped a lot.
Awesome. No, that's a great process. A lot of huge stores use hangers. And it seems like big stores use all kinds of processes. So they must have different photographers with different needs. Let's go to Frank. Frank, you're possibly the largest seller in the private group. So talk to us about the madness. Where does it start and where does the stuff go?
Well, I used to be the only sourcer, but now I just hired my first full-time sourcer. But the problem is we're getting way too much stuff than what we can handle. Evan.
You should put the little one in the picture.
What?
You should put the little one in the picture. No, it's important because there's so many people that think you can't do this with kids. Everyone.
I mean, it's hard.
No, yeah, I work at home pretty good. He just takes I want water, I want this, I want that, but otherwise he's good. Yeah, you're just saying hi. Okay.
Hi.
Okay.
How you doing?
All right, Daddy's gonna talk. Okay.
No, I want.
No, Daddy's gonna talk. Okay.
No, I want.
You talk after. Okay. Okay. All right. So I have a full-time source, so we're getting way too much stuff. And so now I have him like helping test stuff, helping list stuff. So that's like this thing. I'm really trying to automate a lot of stuff. Like I wish there was a machine you could just put an item on a conveyor belt and it would just take all the pictures and list it for you. But it's not that easy. So I'm still in the process. I'm trying to hire, I think we should all continually be looking for people, or, if you have this interest in growing, to continually look for qualified VAs who are competent in helping you list, because they can do a lot of different things to help you out. For instance, I'm looking for a VA who could help me title stuff based on pictures, right? So if I can find someone like that, I mean, it would just, if I just had to take pictures in-house, and then, because I have someone currently helping me list. So I just put everything on a spreadsheet. I'm sorry I'm going all different places, but I have I have like 4 different people doing a piece of the process, right? So I have one person sourcing, one person taking pictures and storing it. And before that, if it needs to be tested, I have another part-time person doing that. Then after it's photographed and stored, if it sells, he picks it every morning. He takes about a half hour to an hour, picks everything depending on how much stuff we sold. And then I have another guy who helps ship. And then when he's done shipping, he ships stuff out to Amazon after that all day. So that's like, I'm trying to help specialize in every different area. So the photographer, if he continually improves his process, it's easier than if you're sourcing, you're listing, you're shipping. If you're doing all of it, you're usually just going crazy. But if you just have one thing to focus on, you know, especially for an employee or helper, that, you know, I loved what Chris said the other day. You know, if you make an improvement, I'll give you $10. You know, and that I think I think it should be implemented in every job everywhere, because that kind of incentive to help better your job, you know, become more invested. Because now if you make an improvement to the position you work in, you're more invested and get more satisfaction out of that job too. And you'll even if there wasn't any improvements, you'll just like be more productive with your time. So anyway, that's my process. But I'm continually, like this past week especially, I'm trying to automate anything possible that can be automated. So yeah, I just watched massive amounts of YouTube, even though you shouldn't. Like, I'm able to work pretty well and consume a lot of information, podcasts and stuff, just because I'm trying to always, one, stay on the cutting edge of everything, and two, I'm trying to learn new methods of doing things better. So even though I may be doing the most sales, obviously I have a lot of overhead as well, and I'm able to balance it relatively well. But I learned the hard way because it wasn't always like this. So anyway, that's my process. Sorry for taking so much time.
No, I think that's something that you have been doing since I've known you for the last 6 months or so. You've always been trying to get somebody else to do it, and that's really important. And I think that I would say the majority of the people I know that are successful on eBay at having a six-figure income or more have kids. So like it sort of forces you to learn how to use other people because you don't have time. So, and you also have a secondary income, hopefully, if you're doing that. So that helps if one person's working and the other person is hustling. You can kind of grow it that way. But it's been really cool watching you guys. They're Hustlebee's also in that call on Monday mornings, and it's interesting to compare processes. And if you guys don't know, Frank sells in like 100 different categories. So it's extremely complicated. So there's a lot of processes going on. This will be a good segue. We'll go into Ken. Ken probably have some feedback on Frank's process. And also, why don't you tell us how you do things?
Hi. So yeah, Frank's patron number 1. I'm patron number 2. That's a joke. But yeah, it's been really fun getting to do the mastermind with Frank, Chris, and myself within our group. But my process has gotten better. I think I haven't made any changes lately because we kind of have mastered it. So it's me and my wife. The process so the process starts hauling it from our Civic up to our third floor apartment. So we usually haul like 6 giant Nike bags or 6 blue IKEA bags that we have. So as soon as it gets here, our process area is our living room. We don't have a couch, so everything gets laid out, and then we've created a new inventory manifest. So it's basically double checking everything as far as did they charge us, with the right amount of inventory that we bought, because sometimes they charge you double. So our check of quality and quantity starts there. So my wife writes everything down to our new inventory manifest. I kind of got this from from a new inventory that Marshalls get from Nike. It has a inventory manifest in it. So we check everything, and we write everything down: sizes, product code, color, and the title, kind of like the rough title of the shoe already in the inventory manifest. We check everything for defects, make sure, because we mostly sell new. So we're very, very hard on quality as far as that we're concerned, because if you're declaring it new, you can't be selling something with a flaw or a sign of wear. So that's something that we do first, and then everything gets written down. After everything gets written down, everything gets lined up according to how it is written down in the inventory manifest. And then my wife takes photos of them all at once. We do this because we only process 20. I mean, the most we processed was around 100 pairs or 100 items of inventory, and some has multiple quantities. So, my wife takes photos, one shot on everything. She loves taking photos. Uh, we're not a big fan of listing, but we know it's a necessity. That's why we've structured our business like this. We want to sell, our main goal is to sell 30 items a day at $100 average sale price. So, uh, theoretically, it's easy to list 30 in one day. It's easy to ship 30 in one day. So that's the process. So everything gets taken. My wife takes photos of everything, and after that, we usually have dinner, because usually it's nighttime when we come in, and then after dinner, she actually drafts everything, and lists everything. So my wife basically lists a lot everything. I only do I only edit the existing listings, and adjust pricing. So after listing, she uploads the photo. So she's actually in a desktop at this point already. She uploads everything through her phone while listing the desktop, and drafts everything, and then sends everything live. We don't have a scheduled uh, listing time. We don't have any formulas of that yet. Although it's something that I've heard a lot, that you have to post this at a certain time and you can schedule listings. So that's something that we don't have. After listing everything, within the last month, we've pre-packed everything. So after listing, when she's listing, I'm creating all the boxes for all the shoes or the items that needs to be put away. And then everything gets pre-packed, everything gets labeled, kind of like product code or title and size. After that, by that time, we'll be able to put it on our storage facility, which is our second bedroom in our two-bedroom apartment. So we get everything transferred there, and that's pretty much it.
Something I want to point out, guys, when you are a seller like Ken and most of your items are the identical size, then you can have like one photo area, one shipping area, one type of shipping box, one kind of shipping policy. Like when you're an everything seller, I have 13 business policies. There's 13 different ways I ship things. And some items, because they're heavy, I have calculated shipping. Some items are free because it's a competitive category. And it really streamlines it. You'll see that one of the reasons why, I've been reviewing the top 100 stores on my reseller SmackDown show. And almost all of them are one type of niche stores. I think it allows them to build speed, and there's less training time when you're selling a bunch of different stuff versus just one. Even like Ken, switching from Nike to just Adidas is already totally different. Different sourcing. I mean, everything is different. So like you switch to a different brand, even in the same category, and it becomes a little different.
And also, I want to add that when you're listing at a certain way, we've only probably changed our listing process like 2 or 3 times. The reason being is you have to master things. I am a firm believer of mastering a skill takes 10,000 hours. So, given that we're still very new at this game, we want to master it in our way, because even though there's a better way of somebody doing it, we'll never catch up to their speed because they've been a master for it already for quite some time. So with this way, we have mastered it. And at the end of the day, our goal is to have our income and listings increase and have more time to do whatever we want. That's why we want to own our time. So with this kind of listing process, we have quite mastered it now. And then now we've added the pre-packing. Shipping takes less than an hour. Listing probably takes 2 or 3. And between the middle of the day, we try to go shopping, kind of go travel, shop, and source, kind of a deal now.
All right. Let's go to Gwen. Gwen, how do you do everything?
Okay, so I'm not nearly as organized as everybody else. I just kind of do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. But I do have my process is usually when I go sourcing, bring it all home. I prep it by cutting all the tags off, checking again for flaws, separating into like laundry piles, and then I wash it. Then it gets hung up and steamed, and then it goes to my boyfriend, who measures it and photographs everything for me, because just like Joel, I hate doing that shit. And it's
Even though
just
you majored in it.
I have a degree in photography. It's just not fun because it's not creative. It's just literally like shoot, turn, shoot, like tag, shoot, one after the other. It's just so robotic. So he likes to do it. I pay him $1 per item. So it works, and I don't have to hire some other person. So he can kind of work whenever he wants. And once he's done, then I draft everything and list it. I usually work until like 2 a.m. because that's when everybody finally leaves me alone.
Same here.
Because during the day, it's just like constant things that I have to deal with. So at night, it's nice because I can just list and everybody's doing their own thing or they're asleep. And so it's a lot easier. But that's kind of my process. This past week, I listed more than I ever have before. So I listed 50 a day, except one day I did 89 and I almost died. So I think that like 75 would be my limit. And that's literally working all day, like pretty much the whole damn day. But that's about it. I mean, packaging.
I just want to point out that you are a listing machine. You list very well. So don't sell yourself short.
I definitely was kind of disappointed I couldn't do more, but I do think that to do more than that, I would need a virtual assistant. And also, like, my boyfriend is not as consistent with the photographs as I would like all the time. He's got a life too. So he's like, well, I'll do, some now and some later. So like, I know when you're paying somebody else and it's actually like contracted and it's not just like, hey, here's $10, you shot 10 items. You can demand a little bit more. So he helps me a lot with that. But at the same time, I do sometimes have to fill in and take some pictures myself. Like today, he's off on the weekends, so I had to take 40. So that took up, an hour or so of my time. But other than that, like process-wise for shipping, I'm really fast at shipping. When I worked at a retail store, we had online orders, and I was always the one to pull them and ship them because I can do it fast. And I think just like having everything prepped and ready, and I have like a workstation with all my boxes, all my polys, they're all organized by size. All my shipping materials are right there. So it's just really quick to grab everything. And yeah, somebody in the chat just said, you saved $40. Yeah, I love when I do that because then I'm like, yes, I didn't have to pay you. That's $40 more to my bottom line. But then at the same time, like personally, I'd rather pay the $40 because it took a little bit of my soul to have to do that.
Amazing. I'm just going to take a quick break real quick and show you guys the goals worksheet that you guys can download at bit.ly/10K on the bay. I'll bring you to this spreadsheet. And so we're doing this every week, guys. If you want to download this spreadsheet, it should help you build the eBay store that you want in your life. So for me, as an example, this is from the Low-Key Husky store. I wanted 700 listings this week. I do have help. So I have a photographer and a VA listing full-time. So we're able to do 100 listings, over 100 every single day except for today. But I will be listing after this. So hopefully I can get up 100 also today. But this will give you an idea of your revenue, your PayPal fees, shipping, cost of goods sold. I build the cost of my VA and my photographer into the cost of goods sold. So I want to help. At least everyone should make $1,000 a week on eBay, in my opinion. Even if you do it part-time, you can get there. Join the Reseller Fam Facebook group. Will help you for free. Get on Instagram. And if you want, there's just so many people out here that will help you. You need to basically do 70 items a week that are $15 profit. That's $1,000 a week, and that's 10 a day. So most people can do 10 items a day. You just need to learn how to find $15 profit items. So that's what you should be looking for. You don't need to buy a course, but it's basically just 70 items that make $15 profit or more. You can download this worksheet and work on it. Just wanted to share that. Also, we're giving away a ticket every single week for people who complete this goal for our event in March. So hopefully you guys can join us. Let's go to Jason next. Jason, tell us how you do everything in your eBay business. And thank you for the Pokemon pants. I haven't worn them yet, though. Oh, you're on mute. Hold on. I just unmuted you. Go ahead.
So, well, I said I hope they're comfortable, but so I'm pure mobile. I only list via mobile. I just bring all my stuff into my bedroom. I have a little hook on the wall that I set up for taking photos. I'll go through an item, I'll list everything, and then I'll take the photos of it and then bag it in a poly bag, clear poly bag, and just drop it into a box below the hanger. And that is, then I label, like pretty much my only description right now is box A, box double D, whatever it is, for the boxes. And then I'll take it out to my garage. I am completely out of space right now, so I am probably going to have to go get I've got to figure something out, but I'm trying to sell out of a lot of smaller, lower end items, and then actually lower my store right now and then buy up higher end items. But yeah, so that's pretty much my listing is all mobile. At one point I had bought like 300, 400 items and just had a huge death pile. So I did hire a photographer to help me get through that. And I was paying them 50 cents per item to take photos and do that. I only measure coats and certain other products. I don't measure everything, especially because I primarily work with men's clothing. But yeah, that's pretty much my process. It's very simple.
Awesome. I think it's also cool to realize, guys, you do not need a computer really when you're getting started. You can do everything from mobile. I started with mobile. So when I started this 10,000 item challenge, I did 1,200 listings my first month with just mobile. I think like the latency of getting the photographs onto your listing on your phone, what I would do is the longest time of that is the pictures loading. So I would either package your next item or package the item or set up your next item while it's loading. Don't watch it. Well, don't watch the spinning circle thing. Just, use that time for something else. And it's also a nice break so that you're not just like grinding through. I've just noticed that people who take 100 photos, sometimes they pass out. They don't do eBay for another 24 hours because they're so burnt out from doing that. So don't totally destroy yourself.
Yeah, I've never had that problem where it's taking too long for my photos. They load pretty fast, and then by the time I've bagged it and put it in, the listing is done and ready to move on to the next thing.
Okay, let's go to Destroy Family. Destroy Family, tell us how you do things.
What's going on?
What's up?
Yeah, so when we get everything in, the first thing we're doing is sorting it out onto how it's going to be pictured, whether it's mannequin or hanging. And for the hanging, whether it's on a hanger or a clip hanger. That way, when we do go to take our photos, we can just grab that particular bin. And then we don't have to worry about changing things up during that photo process. Once we go photo, we generally photo what we're going to be listing that day. So we'll just do a batch 20, 30, or whatever our goal is. So from there, we got it all photoed out. Generally, we do have a bit more downtime during the day because we do have our little one at home. And kind of like Gwen was saying, a lot of our main work comes in the evening or after hours. We'll draft everything then. And then once everything is drafted, we'll then put the measurements in. It seemed like that's doing the measurements during the draft process for us is kind of in an interruption. And we find that just want to do the like things together. And once it's all up, we get them pre-packaged and a number assigned, and then just find a storage bin for them to go in.
Amazing. So I don't have any feedback.
Hey, that's okay. Like you do all right.
Awesome. Tori, how are you? Can you hear us? Tori, no Tori. I just unmuted you. Do you want to tell us about your process?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just started. So I started drafting first and then taking pictures, but I'm still experimenting with like which works best for me. But so far, I've found that drafting first and then taking pictures and doing it in batches of about 10 shirts or 10 whatever at a time is working best for me.
Okay. Perfect. And then what do you do when you get back from, where do you source?
Thrift stores mainly.
So you get back from the thrift store, you have a car full of stuff. What do you do next?
I unload one bag at a time, sort it into like items, and then take about 10 and start listing.
So I have a question for
Try and do it
everyone.
the
Go
same
ahead.
day.
Okay. I was going to ask everyone in the chat right now, where do you go with it? Do you take it in? How long does it take you to get from your car to your area? Do you have a processing? Is your processing center different than your photography area? Is that different than your storage area? Let's talk about just like moving the item. Does anyone want to chime in?
Well, my area is all over my house, but I kind of have inventory. I have an inventory room, and it's combined with my photo area. I'm very lucky because I took over my mom's house. I had to move in with her for other reasons that had nothing to do with expenses, but she needed me, so I came here, and she's been very generously just like, put your stuff wherever. So I have, it's everywhere. Every available surface has something, but I'm probably gonna have to upgrade to a storage unit. I do have an entire room full of inventory. I'm moving into another bedroom, which is currently just used as like a guest area, but we don't have guests, so who needs it? So I'm gonna take that too, and then probably eventually put some stuff in the garage, and then probably get a storage unit because we're just going to get too big to actually have it comfortably be a living space and my stuff, because I'm sourcing a lot more and I'm getting a lot of just inventory, and we're trying to grow, so for sure need more space. But usually I just bring it in and it gets prepped, like I said, and then everything gets bagged up and then put into the inventory room, and then the shipping area is in the next room, which is now the secondary inventory room. And then hard goods are stored in the garage because it's the easiest place, and I don't feel like they're going to get damaged in the garage, whereas the clothing, I don't really want it in the heat. I live in Arizona, so it's like 1,000 degrees. So I try to keep all the clothing inside, and the shoes, because the shoes will dry rot if you leave them outside.
Yep.
Whoa. I live in the area where it's perfect temperature and humidity all year.
Yeah.
So I don't
There's
know.
no way. Like if you put shoes in, the glue will start separating. Everything will start breaking down. I mean, the garage gets to be like 120, 130 degrees. So.
So I have a question. If I was your mom and I said you had to put it all in one room, would you be able to do it with shelving and stuff or no?
No. It's in behind me is like technically the dining room, but she didn't use the dining room because it was just her and my dad before. So now that it's just her and me and my boyfriend, like, I mean, they never used it. It was just like a sewing area. So I put my stuff here. I have like 3 desks in this room. And I mean, she lives a very different lifestyle. It's very minimalist. So I'm sure she's a little overwhelmed by everything, but she's been really supportive. She's just glad to have me here and not be in another state. So she's totally awesome for working with me and like letting me figure out my process and how I'm going to store this many items. Cause now I'm over 1,000. I have 600 in my death pile and it's just a lot to deal with, but we've never had this much before. We had a 4-bedroom house. So, you know, we only had it in one room and it was easy because we don't have kids. We didn't have anybody living with us. So we had the whole damn house. Now it's, you know, a little bit different. It's still a 4-bedroom house, but it's also someone else's stuff. So it's just a process of learning how to kind of adapt to a different space and figure out like where you're going to put it and how you're going to fit all of this.
Amazing. So Ken, could you fit all your inventory and processing in one room?
I mean, it depends how big the room is. But right now, since the quantity count is up on our in our listing page now in Seller Hub, I actually have 1,500 items. So I'm assuming it's about 1,200 pairs of shoes now. So I live in a 900 square feet apartment. two-bedroom apartment. So my one the other bedroom is filled, maybe like 90% filled now. So that's why I have an overflow here, and then I have another wall on my living room with shoes. Um, it won't fit, but how we actually process it, right? Talking about how I move things. Everything's in a like a really sweet spot. I mean, sweet motion. So I wake up, I walk out, and then this is what I see. And then my processing is also in my living room where I take my photographs. And I mean, like it's a 900 square feet apartment, so there's no time lost with trying to take some things to the different room. But yeah, I am in capacity right now, so that's why I didn't hit my goal. I was planning to add 10,000 more inventory, but I couldn't fit it anymore because I had to assess everything, and then I had to accommodate for boxes and shipping supplies for this season. So, but yeah, I will be definitely moving to a bigger place in 3 to 4 months. So trying to look for a 2,500 square foot place.
Could
In
you fit it
DC.
all in a 2-car garage?
Yes, it will fit in a 2-car garage because I couldn't make any more permanent shelving because it's an apartment. But if it was in a garage, I could literally build more sturdier shelving and stuff like that. I mean, it's something that I can build like already envisioned it, like how Nike outlets inventory is kind of like stacked up on the outlets. It's just like those shelving, and it can hold a lot.
Our garage in our house in Atlanta already has shelving. Just saying.
I told you already. I'm taking over.
I talked to my girlfriend. She's down to potentially moving to Atlanta too. We gotta do some more homework. But
Of course, you guys would all move to Atlanta when I leave Atlanta.
I know. We only will unless you move there, then we'll move away from there. So as long as we're as far as away.
Hey, maybe that will be the time. We'll have our eBay fulfillment center.
Yes.
There you go.
Austin is great.
Yeah, so we actually want a reseller fam fulfillment center in the middle of the country that everyone can just ship their stuff to, and it just automatically ships itself to the customer. That
Austin
is
in the middle of the country.
Austin. So can't wait to do that. Noelle, we lost you for a minute, but why don't you tell us how you do things? Let's say you fill up your car with stuff from the thrift store and you get home, then what?
Yeah, so I usually source almost every morning, and then come home, and lately I've been separating it into piles right away, like into women's, men's, shoes, hard goods, and then I start drafting, and I have started drafting from the computer finally, and that's a lot faster. Helene's been telling me to do that for years, but
She never listens.
since I heard that Gwen does it that way, I went ahead and started doing it. So I'm just kidding.
I know.
So then I do pictures next, and also I like how you can, like Helene was saying, you can then upload from anywhere. So whenever I have to take the kids somewhere, or we're waiting on something, or even when we're driving, then I can just upload my listings on the go. And then shipping, I like to get shipping done at night, so that
What
is
time
out
at
of
night?
the way.
Before bed?
Yeah, before bed. But then
No, after bed.
I mean, like, some people do it before dinner. Some people do it.
Oh.
Wow, Joel is just on a roll
You're
tonight.
crushing.
He's got
You're
some
crushing.
sleepwalking shipping.
Wait, how do you ship before dinner? Because they can buy stuff up until midnight. If you have next day shipping, I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
if you have next day shipping.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I do it after bed.
I just think it's a huge hack to not ship during the day because you lose the momentum.
Lose time. Yeah.
So
we actually ship at night around 11. And then when we have to ship something in the morning, it's only like 2 or 3 items or 5 items. Well, depends.
Ken, do you ship before or after sleeping?
Before sleep. Because I've noticed that
Amazing.
if we ship after we fall asleep,
Things
we
get messed
we
up.
get a lot of things mixed up.
Sleep shipping is actually the biggest hack you can have if you can figure out how to ship while you sleep.
I
Kinda like
know.
sleepwalking.
Dream shipping.
Dream
Yeah.
shipping.
So
By
yeah,
the way, also
clearly
never
it's
going
better
to the
to ship
post
at night.
office is the best thing.
Now, sleep listing is also a very good skill.
Yes.
So this is the concept of using other people to help you. So if you did have if you did Amazon FBA or you had a VA listing while you were sleeping, you can make money 24/7.
Yeah, that's what Chris setup is. You know, he wakes up with all the things drafted ready. So I can't wait to get into that kind of.
So I want to see this. This is the concept. I'd like to back my car into the garage, and have the processing table right next to where my trunk is. So I would just take the stuff out of my trunk onto the table, and it would get processed there, drafted there, and stored there, and not even make it into my house. I think that would be the way to do it. I don't know if
Yes.
what do you guys think of that?
That if you can do
with
that,
how
that's
nice you
amazing.
You also live in a perfect temperature to do that in. Some of us, it would be too cold or too hot to do that, depending on the time of the year.
True.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yep. You guys should all move to California. It's very reasonable cost of living here.
Right.
Done. We're on our way.
Quadruple our rent. I'll take that.
Just build a compound.
You know, we were, Prince, who's on the Monday night call, he was thinking about, why don't we just all why don't we make a reseller house? We can have a listing area, and then think about 10 resellers living in the same home that we're just sourcing.
And have a reality show.
Have a reality show.
That would be incredible.
Then we don't have to sell, right? It's just gonna
there was a group on.
Every week.
There was a group of friends on the Today Show that all bought like 10 houses on a cul-de-sac together. One house was the main community house, and then every family had their own house. And then when they wanted to get together or have parties or whatever, they would go to the community house, and that way nobody's house ever really had to get messed up or destroyed or whatever. And then the community house was free to come and go as everybody pleased. So that could be the photographing house or the listing house or whatever. I think we should do it.
Let's go. I got $500 with me. Where's those houses at? Let's buy them.
Let's get them. Reseller compound.
Reseller compound.
Reseller cult.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
No Kool-Aid though.
No Kool-Aid, but you do have to wear Nikes. So
or Gary V. K-Swiss.
Yep.
No, we're selling those. We're making money off of those.
Yeah, we're flipping those.
I did not get mine. They turned me down, so I get a free autograph book, and I got a $100 promo from K-Swiss, so I got a free pair of K-Swiss shoes.
What?
Yeah, because they had like 70 or 80 people. They had to cancel our orders.
Yep.
So Gary's going to give us an autograph book of Crushed It when it comes out.
That's cool.
And they gave us a $100 promo code. So I bought a $104 pair of shoes.
For $4.
So I bought, it's my first pair of new shoes I've never owned new shoes. Like I always.
Nice. Wow, I spoil myself.
Yeah. I feel bad.
No, I mean, I'm glad that he hooked you up. That's a cool thing that he did. And I like that, I think that Gary V is kind of like a pillar of this. He did the flip challenge,
right?
And he loves the selling. He did baseball cards and such.
Yeah, 2017 flip challenge is the first hashtag I look for to find all you guys, and it changed our whole entire life. And yeah, I can't wait to get my 10 pairs coming in. The Gary V shoes, I got 10 pairs coming.
I still use the 2017 listing challenge tag.
Flip challenge.
That's right.
Chris has his own.
I'm like, what? You started it?
Yep, I started it. So I forgot who in the chat, but somebody, if you guys have questions, we can do some Q&A now. Somebody asks, do I want to get to the point where my VA drafts and launches the listings? Right now, no. I want to review the drafts because I want to learn the market. So I'm doing the research right now. When I wake up, I double check the pricing because I really want to get good at my specific niches. I want to know where the market's at right now. So yes, I mean, my drafter is almost there. I would be okay with them drafting. And when you allow other people to draft, they don't love your company as much as you. So you're going to get negative feedback. You're going to get um, defects when you have other people do it for you, because no one cares about your business as much as you. The stores I see that are huge and don't have a lot of negative feedback, it's usually husband and wife or a couple of family members that their livelihood depends on it. It's very hard to hire people and maintain a perfect rating. But anyway, my point is, I want to continue to do the draft and researching right now. That's the part I will outsource at the very, very end. And I can easily do 100 drafts in 2-3 hours and really get to know my market. And that sharpens my tools. So when I go out, I'm better at buying. And that's been maybe the biggest hack, is staying in the same niches has helped me really start to pick out condition, sizes, patterns that specific people are looking for and get a better hold on the market. What's up, Frank? You have something to say?
One thing that I started doing, I used to do this in past jobs, but because I used to have other VAs for other jobs. But hold on.
That's real life parenting and reselling right there, folks.
On that
reselling
point,
and parenting.
My wife works full time as a nurse, and she picks up at least 2 or 3 overtime shifts a week. I run a business and have to cook, clean, and help with my son Evan, and I'm able to do it somehow. So, no excuses, guys. So on the note with the VA, I started recording myself because I got to go through anyway and check these drafts, or I use an Excel spreadsheet and do it a little differently. But I will literally record myself going through it and have either my VA or the guy making the listings watch it for, let's say it's a half hour, or I'll make like 3 or 4 little 3 or 4 minute videos to explain to him why I'm making a change to what he did, so that over time he will get better and learn. And, even if you have to repeat it 2 or 3 times, or, the other thing is now they have these videos to go back to. If you title them and put them unlisted on YouTube, it's free. And you can make a whole little small private website or email thing to now, if they have any issues and you didn't take any extra time out of your schedule to do that, you were literally recording and just talking while you're doing what you're doing anyway. So I think that's a great use of your time if you're looking to get a VA or have someone helping with anything pretty much that
That's a great idea.
I love that.
A lot of people ask like how to train a photographer or a VA, and that's a great solution.
And I use ScreenFlow to record my screen. So I don't know what you guys use to screen.
Did you pay for that? Because I found something called MonoSnap, and I think it was free or $2.99 on the App Store, because I was looking for something, and it's very simple, but that works pretty well too. So
I have a question I really want to ask you guys, and feel for anyone that wants to chime in, just chime in. The question is, or the statement is, if as long as you want it bad enough, you will find a way. And I get this question all the time, which is, how can I get myself to want it more? And they're like, I want to be successful, but like not that badly enough to change my behavior, basically. So I don't know how to get people to be, I mean, obviously it's internal, but I do get that question. They kind of want it.
They're going to have to hit a hard spot, and then they're going to need it. Maybe.
I kind of want to be skinny, but it ain't working out enough because I did not want it enough to really do it. Look, wanting it is you can train. I have found that you typically only have a certain amount of, it's not a matter of wanting it, it's a matter of willpower. Mm-hmm. And where does your willpower go? So if you're using all your willpower on your day job, you don't have enough to time and will, you don't have enough left to plug into your other business, your eBay business or whatever else it is. So you may want it, but where's your willpower? What's the will that you have left in the day to do it? Because there's the fun part of it, the shopping And that doesn't take willpower. But then there's the listing and the shipping and all the other, and that does take the willpower to do it. Like for the last few weeks, I've been focused on my balloon business, which you can see at Inflated Hero on Instagram. And
it's amazing.
Thank you. But so my listings have been down. But because that's where all my willpower is going. So you just got to figure out how to balance your willpower for what you really want.
There was somebody that posted on my YouTube video earlier today saying that he's not motivated every day. So he just tries to be motivated Saturday and Sunday. So he literally only resells 16 hours a week. I'm sorry, 24 hours a week, but from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, and gets it all done, makes $1,000 a week in just those hours. And the rest of the week, you can take it easy. And that might be something you do too. If everything expands to the time that you give it. So if you want to be successful, but all you have to do to want it more is put a date like on it. Like I want to be successful by next year. Then you have to start doing things faster. If you say you want to be successful eventually, that creates the kind of want it scenario, because it just, that if you were to put a deadline on it, people are going to either think you're dumb. And that actually is pretty motivating. If you say to people I want to quit my job in 6 months, and people are like, no, you couldn't sell, anything to anyone. How can you quit your job in 6 months? That might motivate you to do it. So
find what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What works for all day Saturday and Sunday might not work for me or someone else, but once I found what worked for me, I became a lot more motivated and a lot more consistent.
I love that. I think everyone is so different. There's a guy that really likes, well, for me, I really like gummy candy. So if I put I can eat these gummy candies after I do 10 listings, it would work for me, because that would motivate me specifically.
Or mango juice.
I was at Costco earlier and I bought this mango lassi, and the guy at the cashier was like, dude, you got to be careful, because if you kill that whole thing, it's 800 calories. So yeah, you should watch out.
I mean, for me, what really worked for me is taking on a goal that's bigger than yourself. It's really just beyond your own self goal. So what that means is I'm so inspired with gratitude with the opportunity that we have. I believe that one of the main things why we're not performing on how we want our life to be, or achieving something on what we want, is because we're not grateful enough. Because if we are grateful enough about the opportunities that we have right in front of us, as Gary Vee would say it, right in our phone, right in our outlets, people question me why do you drive 2 hours away? I was like, what? It's only 2 hours away.
Because I can.
And I can, right? So I think that's the biggest motivation for me, is just taking advantage of every opportunity with being grateful. If you're grateful of every opportunity that comes your way, that means you will take advantage of every ounce of opportunity that faces you. And for me, it's really I don't know, crazy enough that I've said it when I first started really my Instagram journey. Is a lot of people's goal is to make $1 million. I want to have an impact on 1 million people's lives. So one of the things I've put upon me is my mom's. I say it again, but I want to say it again. My mom's goal to have an orphanage, and I want to fund that. So I could see 1 million people getting impacted through that. So
absolutely,
for me, after that, all I had to do is just reverse engineer and say what do I love personally? I love shoes, and then let me start selling shoes, and then finding shoes wouldn't be hard for me. Having shoes all over me wouldn't bother me. I have shoes on my bedroom. I have 200 pairs in my bedroom right now. We don't have a bed frame because I have to put in some shoe racks in there. We don't have a couch, but I said, if there's shoes there, I'm fine. So I guess that's that all-in mentality that I had partner with being so grateful and taking on a bigger challenge more than myself. Really is motivating for me not to waste my 78 is the average lifespan of a male.
So I think
definitely.
So I think Ken just kind of mic dropped here. Chris is going, well, I'm really motivated by gummies. And then Ken really motivated by opening an orphan. My mom. Yeah.
Well, I'm
go,
motivated by gummies too. That's why I gained 40 pounds reselling already. So I'm right there with you, Jason. I'm not motivated enough to lose weight. So
I'm motivated by tacos and French fries.
yeah.
Yeah,
By the way,
sometimes
Chris, there are Pokemon gummies on eBay.
Oh my God. Don't talk about that. So also, hey, Gwen, do you want to give away the ticket for the reseller event?
yeah, we can do that.
Awesome. So everybody, if you want to join our challenge, it's on Monday. So the reseller fan will post the listing challenge update, comment on there your goal. And then if you achieve it, we're going to give away one ticket every Sunday until the event. So go ahead, Gwen. Sorry to interrupt
All
you.
right, so I'm going to screen share. So we had 9 people that ended up following instructions and completing their goal for the week. And you set your own goals. So you don't have to set some amazing, 500 listings goal this week. Like, it's up to you. You get entered to win, even if you set a goal of 20 and you complete your 20. So it starts again tomorrow. So we had 9 people that entered, and we had a bunch of people that entered, but 9 people actually completed their goals. So we're going to draw from those 9, and I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see. So over here we have the 9 people, and they are all numbered. And right here we have a random number generator. So we are going to pick a winner. Number 7. So Husky Hustler, you are the winner of a ticket to the Reseller Fam Live 2018. So we will definitely send you more details on that.
Ooh, congrats.
That is so cool.
Kansas.
It starts over tomorrow. So if you didn't win, don't get discouraged. Just set another goal next week, because you can enter every single week. So it's not like a one-time thing. So keep entering, keep making your goal. I know this really motivated me, because usually I'm like a 20 to 30 listings a day kind of person with a whole lot of sourcing in between and a big desk pile. And I actually sat down and really did it. And it was really nice to see how much I can actually do if I put my mind to it. So definitely motivating.
This is super cool, guys, because the whole point of the Reseller Fam is to help you build your ideal eBay business. It could be anything you want. So depending on your goals specifically, you make your own your own challenge. I think that's really important. And try to make a challenge that's a little bit higher than you're comfortable with, because then you're going to always be growing. Nobody else has anything to say?
I was like, I thought Chris was doing his outro already.
I know,
No.
I did too.
No, I'm good. We can keep going.
Shutting us all up.
Oh, Frank, happy birthday. Belated happy birthday.
Thanks, man.
Happy
Appreciate it.
21st.
Happy birthday.
I love your desk. I love the desk, man. I love the desk. I love your ergonomic desk.
Oh, yeah. That's
Here
so
it comes.
cool.
Yeah.
Here the desk comes. Wait for it. It's coming up.
That is
Now it's a standing desk.
Oh, wow.
Standing desk. This
That's
thing is
cool.
awesome. It was at Costco and it was like $100 off. So my wife got one, brought it home, put it together, and then she went back and bought one for herself.
That was nice.
My desk is always covered with stuff for shipping.
Yeah, that's why I just buy more desks.
I saw a random animal just go past. Oh, there it is. Somebody has a dog behind. Oh, Joel.
Huh? Oh, yeah, it's me. Sorry. Charlie.
Charlie. Amazing. Well,
He wants
look,
to go
guys,
out.
let's
He's
talk
like,
about-
stop
let's talk about-
talking.
Let's talk about this and we'll call it a night. What is one thing you can do to improve your process this week? Let's start with Tori. I'll unmute you. What do you want to get done this week to improve your eBay process?
I think I'm going to start an inventory system because I've gotten up to 400 listings, and my goal is to get over 500 for the week. And so it's starting to pile up, and so I think I need to get some sort of inventory system going.
Absolutely. Don't have the pile on floor system. I had that for the first month. Don't do that.
I have it in bins. It's just like I have a dress shirt bin and a t-shirt bin and a jacket bin. It's just, I just don't want to have it too unorganized.
Gotcha. Gwen, talk to us. What do you want to do this week?
Oh God, where do I start? So one thing, I would say not shop this week. So there better not be any damn sales.
Oh my God, if you don't shop this week or buy something from when you go to Circle K, I'm going to take you out for lunch.
That Circle K is lit. There's always stuff being sold in the parking lot next to it.
That's
Anyways,
hilarious.
no, I'm gonna try not to leave my house other than Thanksgiving and literally just stay here and list. Like I'm not even gonna go into the grocery store.
No Black Friday shopping?
I don't think I'm going to because I've spent so much money. Not unless if there's like a 50% off sale at the thrift store, I might, which there probably will be, but I really have to
last year.
I have to hit it hard. I don't need anything. That's the thing. I don't need inventory like for the next couple weeks. I need to get this stuff listed.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know, the minute somebody's like, "Oh, let's go to lunch," and then, "Oh, look, there's a thrift store." Like, I have no like. I'm so weak.
But think about all the stuff that you wouldn't have had you not done that. That it was on fire that day.
It was. I mean, I got some really good stuff. Like,
yeah.
So that's not really an improvement. So we'll come back to you. You need to have something that improves your process.
Okay, I'll think of a better one. Damn it. Okay.
Joel, what is something you're going to do to improve your process, not just not shopping?
Oh no, I'm going to shop. No worries there. I am going to get organized if it kills me.
That's so generic.
No, it's not. Listen, if you would give me a second, I'm about to show you and explain what I mean by what I need to be organized with. So this, all of that stuff is what I listed this week. You can't see all of it, but it's just in a pile there. And I have a very bad habit of not putting all the stuff in my inventory. So I have piles in there. I have piles in my dining room. I have piles in the basement. So I'm going to get all the stuff that I've listed, inventory it, put it away, and then I think my life would like change.
Is there a way you can add? How do you inventory it?
So for example, like you do, like this.
Okay.
Is in the bag. I just have to go put A103 in my SKU on my listing and then put it in its appropriate spot in the basement.
Can you put that SKU on it while you're drafting?
No.
Well,
I mean, I guess I could. It's not part of my process because I list everything and then I bag it all and then I put the numbers on them and then I
demand you do something different. So I think you should try adding that custom SKU in while you draft because it's hard, but I think then you just.
So you think it would be easier?
I don't think you should even do drafts. If you're doing it on your own, you should leave it open, add the pictures and launch it. In my opinion, I don't think you should.
But my life is so crazy and it's all over the place with all the kids that I need to be able to list while I'm out and about. So I like having drafts and I like having pictures and put them together.
I understand.
When I'm out.
I'm just, and I know most moms do that. I just think that it would be faster, like triple as fast only on
just have the envelopes, the poly mailers next to me and do it while I draft.
I don't know, but you need to come up with a process and report back to us next week.
But I like what's the 3-second thing? Like, don't change your mind frame.
No, it just needs to be faster. I'm trying to do something that prevents that pile from happening to the right of you.
Oh, I see. I get your point.
I'm trying to get rid of that. You know what I mean?
I get your point. Yes.
Joel, what do you do right now? I mean, you list it and then you put it in the basement, right?
Mm-hmm. All my storage is in the basement. Yeah.
So what if you just had like a bin next to you? Like that's what I have. Is I have my hard goods bin and whatever one I'm working on, like H5 is my number. So I put H5 next to me, and then I list, and every time I'm finished listing, I put the item in that box, and then I put the lid on and slide it in.
New bin. That's, what do you do with the, like, say you sold C103 and you want to use C103 again?
Well, I just, for the hard goods, it's easy because it's literally just in a bin. So H5,
Okay.
everything that's in the bin is H5 because it's hard goods. So
do you not package up your hard goods first?
I reuse the tag.
I don't package anything like that. I do, my inventory bags are like this. I know they're just like plastic bags with the numbers. So when I'm done, I just reuse the bag, and then they're all in.
That's a great way to do it too. Just reusing the bag.
Yeah. But I mean, I like Chris's way of everything packaged because it would be a hell of a lot easier when I'm on vacation and people have to ship for me, because it would be ready to go,
and having it already weighed, like this changed my shipping game.
Well, I weighed and put the weight into the listing, but because when you weigh it in this bag, like this is about what you're going to put in, you know, a bag that you ship. It's the same weight. And then I just round up for like the actual poly mailer.
Close.
So Gwen, I have an idea for you. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so I think all you need to do is just source less than you list. So basically, if you get to the point where you're sourcing 300, I'm sorry, you can list 300 items a week. All you have to do is buy 280 items a week for 6 months, and then you won't have a death pile. Because I think that's a way to look at it where you don't get depressed. Because like I used to think not shopping was the answer, but it's more like just shopping less than you list, because then your pile still goes down.
That's good. Because I really didn't buy. I did list 300 this week, but I only bought 95.
Baby steps.
But I think also I figured out what I want to do. I want to block out my time.
Okay.
And tell everyone to leave me alone.
I want to do that too.
I just I want to get my drafts done, and then I might leave my house. I might just leave my house and go to Starbucks and work without people interrupting me, and turn my notifications off for everything, turn my reject all calls from people, text messages, and just work. Because, well, from some people I'm all not our group
girl.
text. I love reseller fam text. That keeps me going. But everybody else just disappear.
Why isn't Lexi on the call?
She's on call. She's fine.
She's on call.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably curled up in bed trying to.
She has to get up at 2 a.m.
But yeah, so I'm going to block out my time and try to see how much time I'm wasting on other activities.
I like that. I want to do that too. What do I do with my kids?
We're looking for ways to improve it so that we can prevent all this stuff from happening or make things faster. Yeah, that would be I know.
Well, I'm going to try it this week and report back next week.
Okay. Jason.
I mean, I don't feel bad about my death pile because, like I said, it was all accumulated from that one big trip, with the exception of the last couple days. But I don't buy things that are so on trend that it'll be like a fad that'll be gone in 2 weeks. I buy stuff that's consistently going to be on trend. I mean, you can kind of tell in the fashion industry, skinny jeans is probably a good buy. But if it's something like the boho 70s stuff that's in right now, or velvet, I'm going to get that listed first. I'm going to list my boots. I'm going to list my winter stuff, sweaters, and then I'll worry about the other stuff later because it's not going to go out of style. So I kind of organize it when I do it. So I'm not too worried about my death pile, but.
Okay.
So would you not package these either then before?
No, I don't package any of the hard goods. I just set them in the bin. I just weigh it, and then remember the other day I told you have the box that you're gonna put
the medium flat rate box. I did do that.
Box, and weigh the box so you know. I have just a list of how much all the boxes weigh, and then I just know.
Let's go with Jason. What are you gonna do this week to improve your process?
I actually am probably the one person here that needs to shop. I am out of items to list right now.
Okay then.
I've got 5 items to go. I'm actually, but like I said, I'm trying to upscale where I am doing better items, more retail arbitrage, things like that. I actually need to watch several of Ken's videos because there is a Nike outlet near me that I really want to start at, and I've got a little bit of spending money. Because I also just want things that move faster, and higher end things. Some higher end things tend to move faster.
I agree.
But so that's really one thing I want to work on this week, especially with Black Friday. See what I can find that are really great deals and move fast. And Joelle, I would recommend for the kids. Have you seen the movie 9 to 5?
Yes.
You know how they
with
just
Dolly Parton,
where they click the thing if he tries to get too far away.
Yes.
Midair. There you go. There's.
I'm on it. That's perfect.
So I want you to also, just as a thought, perhaps you can get to the point where you have like a 1 or 2 week buffer in case you don't have time to source. I think that would be great. So as an example, if Gwen can list 300 items a week, I'd like her to have a money pile of 600 items in case she doesn't want to source for 2 weeks. I think it's good to have a couple of weeks of inventory, in my opinion, on call.
Yeah, and in case there's no sales or like it just sucks.
Yeah.
I think so.
I used to have a huge death pile and tons of inventory. This is the first time I've gotten rid of it. I really worked hard to work all that down, and now I'm completely out. So it'll probably take me a week, and I'll be back at that point again.
Okay. Ken, what would you like to do this week to improve your process? Ken?
I don't know. I really don't have an answer.
Because we're trying to get, I mean, this is kind of aggressive, but like, I was thinking you could list 5,000 to 10,000 a week forever. Is that a thing?
5,000, yes. Because I'm
okay.
But gradually growing to it, right? Gradually going to 1,000. So okay, here's the thing. So what I'm trying to do, and what I've been trying to do slowly in a little bit of things that I need to do a lot more, is try to go to the next level ASP, right? Because I'm doing 150. I'm trying to source 150. So maybe so I need to push myself to the 250 category. So I joke around, let's just flip Gucci, but it's actually real, right? You can. So, but I haven't just dipped my toes in it yet. So
guys, I want to shout out, write this down, Ken. Hotter Cooler.
Hotter Cooler?
I'm sure you've seen this store on eBay before. You'll recognize it when you go there. It's called Hotter Cooler. They used to be in the shoe game. Now they're in the Gucci game. Okay, they bumped their ASP from 100 to 400 by switching categories. So you can do it. And there's an example of the store, Hotter Cooler. That store literally does it. If you're in Vegas, you can go hopefully be their competition. I think that's where they get their stuff. So Gucci outlet, love it.
So yeah, I need to do that on the, because we have an outlet, like a Gucci outlet about an hour and a half away. So that's a easy drive, and they have a Nike outlet. I just been passing it, so I need to do that because I cannot grow in quantity anymore.
Okay.
I need to grow in ASP now.
So just for giggles, I want you to write a plan for what sourcing 20 grand a week looks like.
Oh, yeah.
I just want you to just think about what that looks like and brew on that for a week, and then maybe 10 will be easy.
Okay. Cool.
It might be $500 ASP. It might be $1,000 ASP. We don't know.
Right.
So just want to break you out of that.
Yeah, because I've been away for the high end sneaker game for a while, and I've been trying to get back into it. I've been buying here, collections here and there. So, and I've been slowly trying to penetrate that. So, yes, that's a good tip that I need to paint it in a picture. How many items that would be, time and everything would be. Okay, that's a good thing.
Frank, what are you going to do this week to improve yourself or improve your process?
I have someone who goes to my church is actually a professional organizer. They have like a website and everything.
Is that? Okay.
So we were talking because she dropped something off in my warehouse and she went in and she's like, then she came to my house quick and because she lives around the block, and she put my hand on my shoulder. She's like, Frank, you need to let me help you. And I'm like, so we have a meeting tomorrow, and we have a meeting tomorrow, and we'll see, But I definitely, I think for me, I'm just like list, get everything up, and it doesn't matter where everything is because I kind of store it in my brain. I rarely lose things, but sometimes I'm not there, and it's just not a good system if I want to grow. So I'm gonna try and get everything organized and part of the process. So that would be my goal this week, to improve my process. It may not be tangible, but it's definitely or measurable, but it makes huge differences down the line.
Did she throw up when she saw your inventory system?
I should have taken a picture of her face when she came in the door. She's like, Frank, I need to talk to you about your warehouse.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Destroy Family, talk to us. What would you like to get improved this week?
Yeah, so actually Megan and I were talking about earlier today. We want to improve when we measure. So as I was saying earlier, right now we measure after it's been photoed and drafted. So it's like actions together. And we want to put the measuring process in the photo process, essentially getting it so we can look at the photos and that's all the information we need, and we can touch the item less.
That's a great idea. I do that. On my fourth and my fifth picture are the measurements. And then my VA knows to look at those two measurements for it. And also it's marked in my photos. So I can actually tell from the photographs what the measurements are, just in case somebody puts the double check. And I also put in the listing, if you want us to confirm the measurement, please ask us to reconfirm, and we'd be happy to remeasure it for you. And that's been converting sales. So people are saying like, oh, I don't like it when people ask me for measurements. I think if you ask them to ask you for measurements, then you're really taking an extra step, and it makes you seem like you're more of a real person instead of just a robot. So I don't mind the picture with the tape measure in it. I think that looks tacky. I'd rather it be on the surface that you take a flat lay.
I hate when people put the tape measure in photos.
I don't like it, but it's better than no measurements, barely.
Yeah, no, I also don't like when people do no measurements. Like, I could see it for men's clothing a little bit more because it's more standardized, but for women's clothing, like, there's no way I'm going to buy something if there's not measurements listed. But, you know, I do think that, like, it probably saves time for you guys, especially if you're doing that much to do it. But it takes me about an hour to measure about 50 or 60 items. But I do, like, very thorough measurements on everything.
Yeah, and I think our hard part for measuring is I would love doing it during, like, for the flat lays, it's easy just to record the picture. Mm-hmm. And whether we include the picture or not, it's easy to get that information. But since we're doing it with like a hanging or a mannequin, we'd have to be moving it down to a different surface, which is fine. But it's just, again, just making it so it's very like a smooth process instead of, okay, I took my picture, let me take it off the hanger, pull it off the mannequin, and very. Well,
I don't do my measurements flat lay. I don't do any flat lays at all generally, unless it's shoes. So what I do is I have like a rolling rack, and I have everything on the rack, and I just measure everything there and write it down. And then when I photograph, like we used to do it where when we would take the picture, my boyfriend would just measure it and then write the measurement down, or we would tag team it and he would measure it and say like, okay, 19 inches, 24 inches, and write it down. But I don't do flat lays because you can do it with the garment hanging. You just don't stretch it.
And it's just as accurate.
That's a good point.
I've never had a problem for a measurement in anything I've sold, but you know, I know how far to stretch it based on where it's going to hang naturally. Yeah. You're not going to distort it.
Noelle, what do you want to do this week to improve your process?
It kind of goes on what you were saying earlier. I need a cash pile, which.
Yes, we've been talking about this since I've known you.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm really slow to do things. Like it takes me a couple months to do.
You're almost there though.
So probably this week I'm gonna do it.
Okay, so I want to add a couple things to help you do that. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
I want you to calendar some time to source.
Okay.
That wasn't in your calendar before. So I want to add in somehow a couple more hours of sourcing that didn't exist before. I don't know how that would work. And to really motivate you, you would get a babysitter during that time. So you would be paying for that time. So you would move your ass and get that, stuff done.
That's true.
Or also, I would like you to set up 5 filters on eBay for eBay to eBay or eBay to Amazon flipping. And then, so for example, for me, like I don't do Pokemon pillowcases, but if I did do Pokemon pillowcases, I would set up a filter for that. And when they pop up, I just got the notification earlier that Pokemon pillowcases, there's 53 new listings. So I'm going to go look at them and buy ones that are underpriced. So
Oh,
that'll be a way
nice.
for you to have constant inventory, because my goal is to have buy for 50, sell for 150. I want one of those items arriving every day. I don't know how to
Wow.
do that. I don't know how to do that, but that'd be great. In one category where that does work is shoes. So like I just bought a pair of John Varvatos that's consistently selling for over 150 for 50. So like if you just have filters set up, that'll be a thing. And I think that there's no shortage of high profit items. It's just like you just don't. We're just not maximizing our time. We don't know how to maximize our time. Ideally, in a beautiful world, we would just be scanning and be like, yep, 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 yep. Instead of driving somewhere, we would just be virtually looking at a list and picking the items we want to sell. But most of us are lazy and we just pick what's convenient. I'm like that. You're not supposed to pick what's convenient. You're supposed to pick what's most profitable. So that's
good
your homework
advice.
for the week.
Oh, I like it.
Then you'll be like, I have too much stuff, and we'll fix that.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I'm tired of hearing her
All these
complain about it.
people. I
Seriously.
know.
Seriously,
I'm
stop
tired of you guys
complaining.
complaining
I don't have
about your
anything to
death
list.
piles. Shut it.
Yep. All right, guys. So if you thank you for stopping by. We'll see you guys next week at 6 p.m. If you want to join the call next week, just make sure you have a decent internet connection. And if you have a phone, that's fine. But everyone good?
And join the contest tomorrow.
Yes, join the contest tomorrow on Instagram, and we'll see you guys next week.
And have a great Thanksgiving.
Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.